my audio on track. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry y'all. Um, let's see if. Oh, sorry, I gotta find where this audio is coming. Found it. Enough of that crap. Let's load up here. Let's see if the music plays. Well, now my Spotify's not working. This is fantastic. Oh, fuck Spotify. It ain't working today. Um, it's. I wonder if that's doing it for Almighty Audio. Let me try another. Okay, I don't know what's happening to my audio. It's not working in my in-ear audio. I think for y'all it's working. But anyways, let's take a look at last year. I think we did the 2028 season last year. Oh, this is this year's results. We didn't accomplish much. I think we were in it until the end, and we kind of rallied. We had a decent year, 82 and 80 last year. Key moves as we'll look at our infield. Um, this guy was one of our prospects. We picked him up in a trade a couple years ago with Atlanta, and he has the big leagues as an outfielder now. I'm gonna pop him in left field. Right now, he's hitting 258. He came up last year at 265 um, with 11 home runs in a half a season. After hitting 13 home runs in a small stint in AAA, played 27 in AAA, didn't really do much. So he went from basically like a replacement level type player, average minor leaguer, to now a really good player. TCR, or yeah, talent change randomness. That's the victory there. Keyshaw still our first baseman. Royce Lewis, we signed him to an extension. He has not really panned out this year. He's only hitting 219, down from around 230, 240, where he's kind of been in his career. Um, Leo Balcazar, we picked up in a trade, and well, we had him last year. So if you watched him last year, he's a pretty decent player for us. Last year, we're already at 1.8. This year, we're not even at the All Star break. Could be a 2.5 point player. Brooks Lee's still around, as good as ever. He's found a little bit of a home run at his age 28 season. He's hit 13, which is might be a career high. No, his career high was 16.5. So he's already kind of hit most of his home run production for his career already, for an average season. Uh, Already worth 1.5 WAR. Good job. And then Sean Keys, we traded for him a few years back. He kind of flatlined in AAA a little bit. Quad A, 4A player type. He did hit 32 home runs for the, or he did have 8 home runs for AAA this year when we brought him up. He's at 294 in 20 plate appearances, a couple home runs in 20 plate appearances. So he's showing some power. We traded for him a few years back. Outfield, Walker Jenkins is a little injured, but he has developed. He won the batting title last year, 323. He did hit 21 home runs, 71 runs batted in, stole 11 bases, thrown out quite a bit. So was a 6.5 win player. Not going to get there this year. He a little bit of a down year, maybe come back to earth a little bit, closer to 27 and 28. But he's hitting 257, 346, 441 with 12 home runs, 7 games, 365 plate appearances. He has been hitting kind of 1-2. I think we have him fourth. This young man we traded for at the beginning of the offseason, and he made his way through the big league system. He replaced Byron Buxton, who we let go in free agency. Or I think we traded him last year. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. I remember who I traded him for. He already has 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, decent on base clip. He does 115 OPS plus, already a 3-win player. That worked out for us. Matt Wallner has fallen off a little bit. 219 last year will always lead the league in strikeouts. He did play in every game, so he led the league in plate appearances. 28 home runs, down from 35 and 39 the year before. This year he has 14 home runs, but he's only hitting 184 with a 286 on base. This is someone I want to explore trade for. We do have him under team control. No, we don't, actually. No, we don't. So, yeah, he is a free agent after this year. Asking price probably 4 years, $84 million. I am not giving him that. Reason I'm not giving him that is I do have some options in AAA. Emmanuel Rodriguez. We gave him a small stint this season. He did win a job out of camp. I decided he wasn't getting enough playing time right now to justify, and he's not fully developed. So because of those, I decided to leave him, send him down to AAA for just some seasoning where he's to 407, 451, triple slash with 3 home runs and 90 plate appearances. The other one I brought down was Max Williams, another guy who's ready for the big leagues. He won a job out of spring training, but he only had 31 plate appearances in about a month and a half. So I decided to give him some work at first base for that flexibility. So that's what he's doing right now. And when he comes up, he will probably slide into one of those outfield spots that I have given away. We picked him up in a trade with Toronto 2 years ago. So those are moves I've made this year. We still need infield. Outfield, let's see. Taylor Trammell we picked up in a trade with San Diego last year. For us, he's kind of fallen off a bit. He is ARB eligible, so he's someone I can explore trading. He's a decent left fielder. At 31 years old, still under team control. Good personality. He is one of our clubhouse leaders, so it would be a clubhouse standpoint loss, but on field it doesn't cost us very much. He's not really playing right now, so we could bring back one of. So shorten up our outfield. It'll be something to do. We have Tyson Lewis come up. He's actually playing pretty well for us. 238 batting average. Can play basically every position. He's shown some flashes of power. So he's definitely like a fourth outfielder. We picked him up off waivers a while back. Pitching is our strength this year as we look into our numbers. But Justin Steele, we believe this was the trade we made last year at the deadline. And yes. So we traded Justin Steele, Rodriguez, Santos, Higgins, and Hades to Chicago. Picked him up from Chicago. We got rid of Byron Buxton, who had been our outfielder in AAA. I don't think Buxton is playing for them anymore. So let's see where he is. Byron Buxton's still around. He ended up signing with. Oh, he did sign with the Cubs. He's now fragile again. We had gotten him off fragile. He's hitting 239. He hit 234 295, 405, 7. It's been basically, he was replacement level to finish out the season for them after being pretty good for me. So he didn't take too well to Chicago. He did sign a $20 million a year contract. It looks like, yep, 4 years, 80 million. Um, I was not willing to give him that at his age. Um, and this year he's hitting 239, 315 on base. Um, 403. So league average, he's kind of picked it back up a little bit, but at this rate in his career, his batted ball metrics are good. He's just the strikeouts are killing him. He strikes out way too much. So do strikeouts matter? Yeah, they do, kind of. Yes, they do. Okay. Um, pitching. We can look at our pitching staff. Some more. Let's see. Sam Kukoian, we picked up a while back. He's made his way through the system. Tyler Wells, we picked up in a trade to kind of fill a spot. We traded Diet for Diets a couple years ago. So relievers, we've always kind of patched this together. Um, Pretty much the same guys. We have Brendan Little still around. Sam Hinches from last year. Ben Joyce with a free agent signing. Brash with a free agent signing. Louis Varland was a trade last offseason. So, and I think we have a closer. Do we have a closer? Yeah, Ben Joyce, but he's not our closer. We'll see how they're being used right now. As you can see at this point in the season, we are 53 and 38, 582 winning percentage. We're up 2.5 games in the division. Info wise, we can look at our team stats. We've been pretty consistent 15 and 11 in April, 16 and 12 in May, 17 and 11 in June. And in July so far, we're 3 and 3. Offensively, we're not great. We're ninth in runs scored, fifth in home runs. So once again, we're having trouble getting on first base. Not great at base stealing. But ninth in runs scored. So we're middle of the pack offensively. We just have struggle. It's not an offense that's, I don't think, built to play well in the playoffs, but we're playing with first in starters ERA, second in bullpen ERA. We are first in runs allowed. That makes up for the other lack of pitching. First in hits allowed, first in opponent's average, first in team BABIP, first in home runs allowed, third in walks, 11th in strikeouts. We do give up a lot of balls in play. So some of these might be adjusted up at some point. Defensive efficiency, we're first, second in zone rating, eighth in errors. So we're definitely covering a lot of ground, but we don't give up that many base runners. So we've been very good at preventing out prevention. Our lineup at the moment, we do have a few injuries. We can look at the injuries at this point in the season. Injured list, we do have Taj Bradley. He's done for the year. Jason DeCaro, who was our first round pick in 26, he got injured at the end of last year. The fuck is that noise coming from? All right. There's weird noise coming from the tablet. Who knew? Okay, so yeah, we've had some pitching injuries. Jason Cart, Raher Suarez. We picked him up in a trade in the off season. Suarez, we picked him up. He's a free agent after next year. I kind of wish I hadn't done this trade, but he pitched us for us for 12 games and hurt himself. He's out for at least a few more weeks. He did have a setback. And then Clay Holmes is currently in rehab. We need to bring him up. I'll probably bring him up. Well, he needs to come up now, but he's currently injured, so I'm gonna probably bring him up tomorrow when he's actually healthy. I left him down there a little bit too long. He has 5 appearances for AAA. Whoops. But that's fine. That's our current team. When Clay Holmes comes back, that makes Tyler Wells expendable. He does have minor league options right now. As you can see, he was just a 5th starter option for us uh, while we figured out some injuries. The goal today, of course, is to do the first year player draft, but I want to look right now at the trade block as I look at the wrong screen for it. The player trades, I would like to bolster my offense. Unfortunately, as I was looking at this last time, these are all the batters available. And if we look at batting stats, we can just look at their batting stats, raw batting stats. Right now, if we sorted it by wins, actually, we sort by OPS plus. Like Brandon Marsh could be an upgrade for us. He does have a good bat, as well. He's a pretty decent defensive corner outfielder, so that he would help. I mean, and he does make 17 million and is a free agent, so he's someone we could probably pick up on as a rental to get rid of. I don't like his power really that much. The void K rate scares me, but he's performing well, as you can see the OPS plus. Third base is a position we could upgrade with Paredes. He's hitting 300 with 14 home runs. He's hitting over 300. My issue there, of course, his batted ball rates are great. His strikeout rate is phenomenal. The BABIP is a little low, so for some reason, yeah, so I think he's overperforming. Conforto is a solid choice too. If we needed I thought he was right-handed. Playing good for LA. He's also a free agent, so there's some rental options we can explore here. And then in the outfield, but I don't really need to upgrade my outfield necessarily. I think if I'm going to upgrade anywhere, it'll be second or third. Of course, we can also move Saltaban back to the infield, where he's probably a best fit. Well, he's a good fit in either second or left. He could play right too, but he doesn't have the arm to play third or short. So second or left is probably his best bet. He doesn't have his outfield arm is abysmal. So we could put him back at second base eventually. It's probably his best position overall. To do that, we would have to figure out the second, third base options here. I mean, we could trade Sean Keys. I don't really like his overall. I don't like his overall ratings. He was only coming up because I needed a bat. I needed instant offense, and I thought he could provide it. So Sean Keys would be expendable in this scenario if we were to upgrade, and or either position, and of course also The two players I talked about earlier in our outfield being Trammell and Matt Wallner. Lewis is also expendable too, by the way. I brought him up because again, I wanted to get some guys some at bats, and these guys aren't and Lewis and Keys aren't prospects, but they're kind of 4A players who could probably have success in short bursts, and that's largely what's happened. Um, so I want to upgrade my team a little bit. It's just that my backups, who I want to develop into regulars, just aren't really producing like regulars right now. Uh, Wallner is probably going to be the big piece here that I'm going to try to move on from. Um, he's not playing well. He's a DH only. He does outside of a big arm, and he cannot play the infield. He wouldn't be able. He wouldn't do well at first base. So putting those moves together, I do think I want to move on from Wallner to get a little piece from him. Now that I know he's a true free agent after the offseason, I can actually explore a trade where I eat his salary just to get some prospects in return. So that's going to probably be the move for this cycle in terms of upgrade. We'll probably get a I want a left-handed bat, more than likely. Or wait, well, if I move Saltimban, I would want a left-handed infield bat. So there's an interesting option here where I think we could trade for um, oh, Jazz Chisholm or even Luis Arias. Like Luis Arias would be a decent option. He's a better first baseman, and all he really does at this point is he hits weak contact. Um, but he can get on first base at a 350 clip, which we really needed to. But outfield might be the move. There's more left-handed bats here anyway. Conforto, Marsh, Alec Burleson, who's also a free agent, probably won't cost me a whole lot. He could slide right into that DH role, but it would be a platoon system there. So, yeah, he doesn't strike out nearly as much as where are his splits? Yeah, okay. So largely, he just should never see the field again. So we got some options. Did we want to pursue him? We could just platoon DH. But I'm gonna do the first year player draft, and we're gonna go ahead and take that 9-2 loss to Atlanta. Danny Arias is a 15-year-old pitcher, lefty, good adaptability, good work ethic. Let me get that. Let's get a good. Let's get that scouting report on him. If I get intriguing prospects here, I actually go ahead and get scouting reports on them. By the way, I believe we have the third rated farm system. Our top overall prospect is Gustavo Melendez, who's at shortstop for some reason. He's about ready to come up. He's 21 years old. Could hold his own at the big league level. He'll definitely be a September call up. Could come up now, but I'm a little worried about. Yeah, he could be a true leadoff hitter for us, which would make Luke Keyshaw expendable, and we could get a first baseman who can hit for some power. But Gustavo Melendez is our top prospect overall. And when he comes up, he makes Royce Keys expendable or Brooks Lee, because we can move Brooks Lewis back to third base. Royce Lewis did play third base a little bit. He doesn't really have the third baseman arm, but he's also popular locally, so we can't afford to lose ticket sales. Oh, go ahead and make a move here. We're going to go ahead and bring back, hopefully he's not injured anymore. Clay Holmes is finally back from the injured list. So we're going to go ahead and option, where the heck is he at? Tyler Wells, who is a little bit injured. So we're going to go ahead and demote him to AAA. He refuses to be demoted. We will actually just go ahead and trade him. Let's see what we can get for him. We traded for him a while ago, so we can just trade him again. Not a big deal. There's some options we have here. Bailey Ober, who we had him a few years ago, and we traded him away. Um, looks like he's come back to earth a little bit. He looks like he's been most of last year injured. Chris Bassett. Oh no, we did not. I thought I had him last year, but I didn't. Oh, we did in 27. Um, Mason Bixby, 7th round pick in 26. Has clawed his way through the Royal system, but the lack of adaptability and the lack of control are very concerning. Kyle DeGroat. Ooh, that's disgusting. Looks like if I want to trade Wells, I'm gonna have to trade a. I'm just gonna have to eat a bad contract, which Max Muncy's here, but he's been replacement level, and he's a left-handed bat, but he's a TTO player, and I have enough of those already. And he's only on basing 322. Again, the strikeout rate is at 20%, which is bottom 20 percentile. Let's look if there's any prospect packages. Okay, none. So we have dropped some frames, so if y'all want to pick those up. Right now, I am looking for basically dead money, or I might just trade him for Mason Bixby and see if we can develop his control at all. Probably not. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna. This is a player dump for. So we're just gonna make this trade. Might as well see what else we can get in this trade. We do have some options here. It looks like. So far, I'm not really liking it. Rubel here, 7th round pick, 27. Okay. This might just be a 1-for-1 trade. Oscar Enriquez. Ooh, I do like the decent defense at first. Good batted ball skills. Not a power hitter though, which isn't the worst thing in the world. So we'll see if we can maybe see if there's a piece we could add to this to make it work. Frederick Cassiano. Um, who, yeah, there we go. Oh, by the way, I think we took all of Tyler Wells' salary, so he's still being paid by his previous team. And then as we go down, let's look at some Jonathan Andrade, who, guys, some interesting abilities, but not going to be. Yeah, let's see. Fernando Balcazar, not a fan. Honestly, at this point, think it just I can trade for some attributes, but I do like this package, so yeah, I think I might just go with it. Let's see. Yeah, but Jesus Salinas. I'll never trade down a pitching prospect, but it looks like it wouldn't work. So yeah. All right, so we'll take this trade. We'll trade Tyler Wells and Frederick Haciano for Mason Bixby and Oscar Enriquez. Um, we'll see how they develop for the rest of the season, and then we probably got to make and the corresponding roster move, of course, is to bring back Clay Holmes from the injured list, um, and we'll make him our fifth starter because Sam Kowian is playing well uh, as the long reliever, so he'll pitch more than King would or Clay Holmes would as the reliever. He was okay for us. Actually, no, he hasn't really pitched for us this year, has he? Yeah, so he hasn't really pitched for us this year. When he must have gotten injured. Oh yeah, he got injured back in March. So okay, so that trade's made. We um, just moved around somebody, just made a roster spot basically. Um, and we'll go ahead and play game two of the Braves. Royce Lewis is going to be out 4 weeks. Well, that's going to help us out actually. So with Royce Lewis being out, we'll go ahead and put him on the injured list. So let's actually pause right here and think things through a little bit here. Um, this might be where I call up one of the outfielders I had sent down. I think that's going to be the likely move here as we look at all players. Obviously, Gustavo Melendez would be the perfect 1-for-1 move. However, he would probably want to be in the lineup. Um, he's hitting his as good as he's ever hit. And so offensively, he's going to be fine. He's basically there. But I might bring back Emmanuel Rodriguez here to see how he hits over the next couple weeks. Maybe give him a platoon. We could platoon left field, um, or even I know his rating isn't great, but Max Williams. Um, I might actually bring up Max Williams. He's a 55 at first base, so he did what I set out to do. He hit 321. He's hitting well in AAA. So I think I'm gonna bring up Max Williams here, and change his position back to the outfield. Change him back to left. We don't need to none, and I'm gonna change him back in the editor to left field. So there, there we go. So I'm actually going to call it Max Williams, and we're going to promote him to Minnesota. Um, and now, as we look at our lineup, this causes a little bit of a hole. So against righties, we will do this. Okay, and then we'll put Max Williams right there. Sean Keys will continue to be the first baseman. Now he's playing a little more. It looks like. Um, his last game, he went. Well, he didn't appear, but yeah. As far as lineup placement, I think he's fine hitting eighth. I might have him hit seventh. Lev Brooksley hitting eighth. Um, yeah, his splits are he has reverse splits even, so that's not good. That's not great. Um, I really need some music playing. This is bugging me. Um, going to end up being a shorter stream. Okay, making some adjustments. Oh wait, there. Okay, so we'll try Max Williams in left for a while. Yeah, he does. And then and I'm gonna make another corresponding move here. I'm gonna shop Taylor Trammell. I might just see if there's an infielder here. Well, there is Luis Arias, who is on the trade block. Um, by the way, evidently, I saw this online. Apparently, Nico or not Nico, Luis Arias has improved defensively this year. So he's not a total liability at second base anymore. Um, so good for him. I might just make this trade for Luis Arias to get that bat in the lineup. Um, but the issue with him is he can only play first and second, so it's kind of a pointless move to make. Um, but he's also really the only Isaac Collins. Switch hitting infielder. I might make this trade straight up. He's not hitting at all. He's never really shown any flashes of being able to hit. Um, but he can play defensively at four positions: first, second, third, and left. Oh, we did win 3-2 our last game, by the way. Um, yeah, they're the only two. What about Charles LeBlanc? Yeah, he's a corner in. Okamoto. Ooh, this is a well. He's a free agent. Big contract. Has it? He can hit a little bit. He can play defensively at first, second, third, and left. Needs a little bit of experience at the left. Um, I'm kind of intrigued after a pretty good 27. He's fallen off a little bit in the last few years. So, um, but he would sit on my bench. And would provide a reliable glove at a bunch of positions. I don't really need defensive subs right now. So I might just trade him for Isaac Collins, and we'll see if we can throw in a prospect. Um, Take a look at Dano Rubel. We can make that work. Okay, maybe not. Um, oh, we just traded with them, didn't we? Yeah, we just looked at these prospects and they were being stingy on them. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just make this. Um, and then we'll put Isaac Collins here. For some reason, he is a first baseman. We will put him at second. I'll just put him at second, and as soon as I learn what button to hit, again, this doesn't really matter, but there. We made that trade. He wasn't playing anyways, so um, now as we look at our lineup, we can make some moves, and we do have Tyson Lewis too, who can play all these positions. So maybe we didn't need to trade for Trammell, but that's fine. Um, Actually, let's platoon this. We'll use Tyson Lewis as our super platoon against lefties. Second, third, short, center, actually all the positions. Yeah, we'll just make him the super platoon in all the positions. Then against lefties, hmm, didn't think this one through all the way, did I? We'll probably go ahead and play Isaac Collins in left for a little bit, just to give us a reliable bat in left. And then we'll Devin Saltavan. Yeah. Um, and then what we'll do is put Tyson Lewis there and there. So we're gonna make Tyson Lewis a more of a super utility player type. Um, I'm gonna revisit that one a little later. I don't really love that option. Um, and then we got to make some lineup moves against against lefties. We're probably gonna have to move Isaac Collins off the two. We'll just flip those. Hmm. Yeah, I think we have to revisit this one. Oh well, let's just sim the day. Got some promotes up from the minor league system. Ramon Hernandez, Omar Delgado, and Torsten Peters. All right. All right. So for the real reason we're here today, and we'll do this after the ads run, is our first year player draft. And it's today. So we'll take a look at it. Let's go over here. We have a pick at number 18. Looks like we moved down because of the Vegas getting a compensatory pick. The big loser here in the draft was the Miami Marlins going from 1 to 5. Kansas City going from 2 to 5th, and then everybody else. Because Toronto won the first overall pick. So as we see, um, yeah. Braves got a third rounder. Houston got a third rounder. LA, Yankees, Mets, Padres, and Rangers. I got. And those are compensation picks. Um, by the way, the Columbus Thunderbirds, that's the artist formerly known as the Colorado Rockies. Um, so there's your draft order. And then after the first, yeah. Um, yes. So as you see here, we have, and in these subsequent rounds, we will pick round 20th, it looks like. 14th in round 3. So a bunch of teams had to give up pick, third round picks. 14, and then it should be 17. So, okay. Um, we looked at the draft pool. We'll look at the draft pool, all players. Best player in the draft looks like it's CJ Kent, from college pitcher from UC Irvine. 0.96 ERA in the draft league. Um, looks like they're going to be a very pitcher friendly draft. If you're looking for a high floor. Um, but yeah, CJ Kent might be. I mean, he's almost ready for the big leagues now. So, um, $11 million asking price, a little much for us. We are picking at a 5.8. So someone like Evan Graba would be perfect for us, even though his potential isn't quite there. Potential wise, looks like Oscar Moncada is probably the best position player overall. Very good attributes. College junior from New Jersey Institute of Technology. Um, we are about to run some ads here. Oh, ads are running. Whoops. So we'll take a quick ad break. We will look at this and we'll do the first year play drafts. And then I'm going to get on out of here because I want some spaghetti. I'll be back in about 3. Oh, that's why my music fucked up. It might just be my phones. Hi, y'all. Thank y'all for enduring this. Welcome back. Um, yeah, I tried to solve my audio, but that shit ain't working. I'll probably just restart my PC when the stream's over. Yep. Restarting my PC solves about 90% of my issues anyways. Oh, getting some, I am getting some, clipping, I think. But anyways, it may have just been for me messing with my, audio, but that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna look at the draft. We looked at the pool a bit. It looks like Moncada could be a pick for us, maybe if he's there. Humberto Abella. That's a good pick. If he's available, that might be a move for me. Can play first or left. Good power. $5.5 million asking point. Very in line with what I'm trying to do. So we looked at that. It looks like my scouting accuracy is very high on a lot of these players going through the pool. We are mocked to take Danny Rodriguez from California. I don't love the pick. A little worried about him hitting 240 in college, to be honest. So these ratings don't make any sense to me. If he hit 240 in college, why is his BABIP as high as it is? So I don't think our scouting accuracy is very good on him. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into the first two play draft. We're gonna go ahead and go straight in. We will start the draft. Toronto Blue Jays pick 1-1, and CJ Kent's the top player on the board, and Moncada is number 2. So what I figured to be true. And they will pick CJ Kent from UC Irvine. Easy pick, I think. Lab the control a little bit, and you're good. 0.96 ERA in the draft league. ERA of 2 in college. 11 Ks per 9, a good walk rate. Number 2 is Jesse Ashworth from Homedale High School, 65 overall potential. I honestly, I feel like that's a reach. The LA Angels, we will autograph from them. They're taking Gabe Martin here. And from Central, 19-year-old pitcher. He's got really good personality traits. Looks to be an average development candidate. Ryan Russo ends the run on pitchers with the first 4 picks, taking number 4 out of Hartford. A shortstop who's not a shortstop. 300 hitter in college, good power. Came home his senior year. The Florida Marlins pick 5th. They take Oscar Moncada from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I thought he was the best player in this draft from an outfield standpoint. Hit 385 in college. Wondered what his good competition level. It wasn't just from lack of trying. Elite attributes if they develop. Ryan Wodarski from the Air Force is 6th. His lack of defense is carrying him here because the bat is pretty much ready for not the big leagues, but ready for outer rookie ball. Rob T. Feller, T. Fatiller. I don't know how to pronounce that. Very high ceiling. Very high ceiling. Vegas takes Nick Sawyer from UC Davis. Again, the defense is doing a lot of carrying. I honestly, with that profile, if he was a little taller, he'd be a first baseman. Probably the best position is going to be 3rd. What he knows. Columbus Thunderbirds are taking 9th Chris Richburg from Big Walnut High School. I'm guessing that's in Ohio. ERA of 1 in high school. Very good control. 10th overall, San Diego will take Blake Bryant from Clemson. And interesting pick. ERA of 2 in college. Doesn't really 55 overall potential. No SA likes him less. Ooh. That might be a bit of a head scratcher, especially when you have like Evan Grava here, who might be a little better. Unless unless they're being priced out. Not really. Interesting. Go ahead and we'll just do this up to Adam Scott from Evergreen High School, committed to BYU. All contact, no power as a right fielder. Not a great defense. Not sure about that pick, to be honest. But he is a very fast, very contacty hitter. Brewers going to take George Torrey from Pattonville. He's committed to MTSU. He's from Missouri, going to MTSU. Full choice. High baseball IQ. Unfortunately, he needs some work on his catcher defense. Very good bat though. If he can learn how to hit the ball. Houston at 13, Alex Harrington from Stanford. Very good infielder defensively. The bat is going to be good enough if he develops. The LA Dodgers will take Evan Grava from Nevada. I like that pick for them. A ground ball pitcher. So hopefully they have some gloves in the minor league. Rob Wonka, another very good bat who probably does not have a position. Very good bat though. Humberto Abella from USC Aiken goes to the A's. Once again, another very good pick. Very good offensive profile here, and he can hold his own defensively. Not a great base runner, but that's okay. Atlanta Braves will take Anderson Jose Deeds. Oh, kind of a unique name there. Power bat at second base. Not a great defender. And now it's us picking. We do have a $5.8 million ceiling here. Jason Wilson's the top player here. First baseman, yes, absolutely. Elite power. The ask on him's a little high, and I don't want to go above slot. Steve Danahay is next. Not a good defender. Not an option for me at this point. And Grady Emerson. Very good infield defender. Could play the outfield. Already got a decent bat. Grady Emerson might be my pick, or Emerson or Jesse Brown. Now Jesse Brown has Grady Emerson does have an $8 million ask. Jesse Brown, and I don't like Jesse Brown's. Well, I like his attributes more than I like his personality more than his attributes. He has 2+ pitches, a fastball and a cutter. this just doesn't look right from yeah. So I don't like that. I might end up taking let's look at the draft pool and we can look at the 60s. Obviously, we're not taking any relievers. Danny Rodriguez is here at 5.5 million. And he's not a bad pick. But I'd say not a bad pick, but I'm not taking anyone who hits 240 in college as a senior. You have a metal bat. You can hit better than 240. So that's a little scary to me, is his production in college. Steve Danahay is not an option because of his lack of deep. And as we look down, we may have to reach a little bit. I don't really love Danny Rodriguez. None of these options really appeal to me. I don't like Steve Danahay as a. Now we could see what his infield ratings are, and they're not good either. So, and he's low adaptability, which means he won't react to change very well. So we may have to reach down here into the 55s a little bit. I mean, Jesse Brown would be a safe pick, but again, I don't really like his attributes. Same with Sean Duncan, low work ethic. So I really do think I might make Grady Emerson the pick here and realize that I might have to cut like round 2. I like Grady Emerson a lot. We have a good read on him, low adaptability, but he's gonna play shortstop. Like he's gonna be a shortstop. Could play third, but I'm gonna start him at shortstop. So there's no like signability. I am gonna see if he can come down to like I might start him at 6. Maybe see if we can get him off of 8 million. Why is it showing on my oh, I see. Let's go back a little bit then because I had a filter on. Never mind. Got okay. Okay, it really doesn't affect things much. Let's see if there's any other. Tom Kendrick, 1.9 million. He's 3D. You know, no, I would take him largely for the same reasons I wouldn't take the other guy. But he's good. Yeah, I think there's enough red flags there. The defensive range is great, but yeah. If I'm gonna take a 55 in the first round, they better have a they better have a low they better have a high floor. Like, hell, you could draft Jim Farrow and promote him straight to big league. Um, but I wouldn't draft him in the first round. So Tom Kendrick is an option. We looked at him. Obviously, good power. He hit 7 home runs in the draft league. I don't think he'll have a slightly average outfield bat. The concern for me is the outfield error rating. I don't like it that low. Um, I don't like it that low. So I'm thinking about taking Grady Emerson with the $8 million ask. Because he's got a good bat and his defense. There's no red flags in his defense. He can play third or short. So I'm taking Grady Emerson. I'm gonna see who my scout recommends. Obviously, probably gonna be different. There it is. They recommend Jason Wilson. $11 million ask. I'm gonna take the college player with a bit of a lower signing bonus. Uh, honestly, a little better develop. Honestly, a little bit of a better development path, in that he can play the position played it at. Wilson, the Void K. Actually, that's not a bad avoid K rating. So I'm gonna take the sure bet. I've taken Grady Emerson, and we'll go ahead and auto draft. Interesting pick here. Like, Casey Towers is available, and that would get me off of, and again, another corner outfielder, average power. That might be the pick here. I can't go above slot again, but George Morton's intriguing as heck. 85. He's already, like, if I draft this guy, he's going straight to the big league, probably. Maybe just, or AAA. But we're not going to draft George Morton. I don't need relief pitching. This would be a position where if I needed relief pitching, I would draft the guy. Bring him straight to the big league. But I'm going to take maybe Casey Towers, but let's go to the sortable list. Yeah, George Morton, obviously the best. He's the best overall player in the draft, but we're not going to take him. Obviously, at this point, you're just sorting through closers. We'll probably take a closer once we don't have to pay them. We'll look at relief pitch. So I'm looking here. Harvey, ground ball pitcher. Finesse, low 90s, no stuff to speak of. That's the concern about him. He'd have to develop his arsenal a little bit. Not Eddie Ponce. Ooh. Probably won't take a pay cut, and I can't take anyone there. Um, Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go Casey Towers. This is not a very good draft. This is not a deep draft at all. Kevin Kelly, but he's asking for too much. Um, or, well, he's already 22. Or I take Dave Landon. What's his asking price? 380,000. So I either take the outfielder Casey Towers or the catcher Dave Landon. Casey Towers will sign for 750. Landon will sign for 380, which in terms of completeness as players, right? Let's just compare the two real quick. Okay. So these are obviously current ability. These are so Towers has a higher overall. Um, they're both below average contact. Towers has a little bit better power, but both below average bats. Um, looks like Dave Landon could have a bit more power. No, these are current ratings. So these are current ratings. This is current and this is potential. Casey Towers would be the better pick for here, I believe. And let's look at the defense, which overall, um, depending on how you view catching defense, um, I think the real issue is can Towers develop as a offensive bat because he's not going to play center field. His power over potential overall is 50 with 50 gap, 50 BABIP. Um, and Towers is a right-handed bat. Also, Dave Landon's a better base runner. Wow, take the catcher here. I'm actually going to take the catcher. So I'm once again going to ignore my scout, and I'm going to take Dave Landon. Give me that catcher defense, right? All right. Go back to draft home. Okay. So again, in the third round, we're looking at Carlos Sanchez. Could be Carlos Sanchez here is a perfectly fine pick. 40s, 45s all over. Um, college junior. Probably doesn't have much development left. Doesn't have a big ask bonus there. And with where the draft is going, I might just go ahead and take him for the floor. And then we'll go ahead and auto draft to the Twins. And 670. I still don't want to take relievers in the first 5 rounds. I don't want to have to pay them bonuses. Um, so, Gary Robinson's here. have to work on his plate discipline. We'd have to lab him a little bit. He's actually not even, we wouldn't even consider him a prospect. So let's go back to the sortable list. See if there's anybody probably. Again, let's look at the draft rules. We are picking in the 4th round at 670,000. So at 1.7, I'm not considering that. May not even consider Rich Allen here. Yeah, he's right at slot though. Evan Carroll's he's got a good personality. Not much of a leader, but the average base runner, not going to bunt, which who cares about bunting? We don't play small ball. Good power bat, raw power bat. There's a lot of red flags there though, because if that power doesn't develop, you've basically got a um, let's see. Chris Hazelton, 22, 35 overall. High adaptability, high work ethic. I just don't know how much development there is there left, and he's already 35 overalls. Um, so we'll probably pass on him. This guy, just for the name. Um, let's see. What about Jeff Pasiti? Good base runner, good power. Void K is extremely low. Um, and I do think that does look like it matters a little more. And then it's non-prospects after that. So going back to here, I really do think it will be, and I don't love Rich Allen. He's more of a development risk at this point. Um, this is going to be a bad draft. I just don't know. I don't really love any of these players, so maybe we just go by a scouting director recommendation. They recommend Gary Robinson. Um, and there's a lot of bad going on there. Again, a lot of development issues there. With him being, well, he's 21. Um, kind of wish he was a little more developed. Yeah, so he's got a low ceiling, but he doesn't like the floor isn't there. So if you need relief pitching, this is the draft for you. I mean, hell, I could probably take Danny Cannon here, Nate Silby, but I'll probably go on a run of relief pitchers later on in the draft. Actually, I think I might just draft at well, no, I can't go over slot again. Of course, Gary Robinson only wants 75,000, and he's got decent power. Could be a left or right fielder. Um, I don't like Rich Allen. I'll probably go ahead and take Robinson. He's got good loyalty and good work ethic. A little light on the baseball IQ, but he's got a decent power bat. This is one where I'm gonna listen to my scout because I don't feel that strongly about any of those players, and it kind of gets me out of cap situation I was in. Now here, the 5th round pick, Evan Carroll. We looked at him a couple rounds ago. My concern here is if he doesn't develop his power, he's basically useless. He is a paperweight, but he only is going to sign for 75,000. So betting they recommend me taking Gimpy Frazier here. So they're actually recommend I take a closer, which would be interesting. He's got a good profile. He's got 2++ pitches. I think here at this point with that 40 overall, I might as well do it. High adaptability. And I don't love any of these other players, and he'll sign at slot. So yeah, his bonus demand is 250,000. I'm gonna do it. So we draft a reliever, and obviously at that point, I might as well do it. All right, auto draft. And now what we'll do is take a look. John Mullins here. Good attributes. Could be elite, honestly. Demand slot. There you go. That's an easy choice. All right. And now I'm not going to take relievers at these ratings here at this point. Nathan Pittman here is got good attributes, loyalty, work ethic. Could have good control. I don't think that's going to do well for him, but but his issue is he doesn't have stuff. He's also a lefty. Rich Allen, Evan Carroll. I might take Evan Carroll here for that power and the fact that we might be able to develop him. So I'm actually going to take Evan Carroll. We don't have a good read on his defense. That's fine. All right, now we're getting at the point where we're just going to start taking people who have good attributes. Danny Lopez, high baseball IQ. Don't love the defense. Third base, 50 overall, no power. If we can find something better. David Myers, good power, good avoid K. Weird profile, can't play defense. Nate Kennedy. Ooh. I think I like Nate Kennedy here. Good infield range. He's got some good contact ability, good gap power, good base runner. He doesn't have much of an arm, though, so maybe we just work on his defense. He's not a prospect, so. But he looks like a 4A guy. All right, so we'll go here. Again, the power is intriguing, so we'll go ahead and take David Myers. Gonna listen to my scout. Herb Gilroy. Decent stuff. He's got a solid 3-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, sinker. Little on the old side and doesn't have much control. Steve Swisher is Quinn Kenning here. Kind of is what he is. Good defender, can play like 4 different positions. not much of a hitter. And then Pat Mans. Honestly, I might take Pat Mans here. Actually, I think I'm gonna take Pat Mans here and move him to the outfield. Yeah, I'm gonna take Pat Mans here, and I'm gonna give him what I'm gonna give him left field, and we're gonna draft him as an outfielder. Okay. Moving on, we're at round 11 now, so we're kind of flying through um, this, and I'm probably going to end stream as soon as the break's over because I'm getting kind of hungry, and I gotta go to the store. So, um, and I'm probably going to restart my computer, figure out what the hell is going on with my audio. It sounds like my headphones. It's from my headphones, I think. It sounds like they're underwater. Um, Derek Green's the top one here. Not a great defender. He's got a good bat. Um, let's see. Yeah, I like Derek Green. I like the potential here. Definitely a PCR candidate. Okay. Steve Swisher, financial ability, which uh, low has good financial ability. I don't think seems very smart when like you're looking at someone who probably won't make a dime. But Josh Grant. I might take Josh Grant here. Or even Ryan Leone. They're both older. There's a lot of older players in it. I think I'm going to take the catcher, Ryan Leone. I need to get in. I need to draft pitchers. I have not really drafted any pitchers in this draft. Um, Here we go. Robbie Ginsburg or Jim Morris. I think I'll take Ginsburg. Yeah, because I've only drafted in 12 picks. I've only drafted one, two, three pitchers. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Robbie Ginsburg here if he's available, and he's not. Um, John Byerly, that's I'm gonna get, and Pat Stutz. Pat Stutz would be a better pick, but I've already drafted one, two, three outfielders. So I'll take. Give me that Doug Greenberg. Okay. Round 15. We looked at Pat Stutz like 4 rounds ago, and I'm gonna go ahead and take him here. I'll go ahead and take Cesar Jimenez. Give me Mike Shumpert. Now I'm going on a bit of a run of pitchers. What about Joe Green here? Oh, that's intriguing. This isn't. It looks more like a second baseman, so you're wasting that arm. We'd have to develop him as a shortstop. But again, 18th round, not really worth putting a rounder in development complex. Let's take a hit, and he doesn't really show any superb hitting. Hudson Devon here, low adaptability. But again, drafting in the 18th round. What about Frank Boardman? High adaptability, low loyalty. I'll take Hudson Devon here just to be pitching. Yeah, we went on a run of pitchers. We drafted 5 pitchers. And we'll probably draft another one with Pete Connor. We're not drafting Pete Connor. I think we'll draft Frank Ford. We might take a look at Frank Boardman. Joe Green, I think, is intriguing. What about Josh Davis? Josh Davis is a more intriguing candidate here. He's got a big arm. Probably a first baseman if he can develop the defense, but he's a good base runner. Got a little bit of power too. Yeah, give me that. Give me that potential power. There we go. So last round of the draft, we kind of sped through the draft a little bit. We took forever on the first pick. Chris McCullough, solid catcher. What about Pete Connor? Oh, Joe Green or Sterling Cavoto? Honestly, I'm gonna take a risk here and take Joe Green for last pick. There's some physical attributes there. Am I picking again? Oh, no. All right. So the first year player draft is over. We'll take a look at our negotiations. We'll negotiate down. And we'll just submit offers for these. Because there's no real reason to go. If they're wanting below slot, there's no real reason to negotiate with them off of what they want. So if Grady Emerson want, and our first 5 picks were all college guys too. So interesting draft approach by me this year, right? Um, okay. So that's a difference of about 900,000. Yeah, we'll just do raw numbers. So 380, that's about actually that's 1.3 million. 1.3 million, 1.7, basically 600,000. So 2.4, and then so we could probably go. I think I can actually. I actually think I can make up the difference here. I think I made up the difference. I'm actually gonna go ahead and offer him over. I'm gonna offer him. Um, what's his low adaptability? I might try to sign him at. I'm if I'm gonna do this with an offer I don't think will get matched, I'm gonna meme it. We're gonna go a million above slot. We'll start with him at 6.7 million, and we'll see how he feels about that. So let's go ahead and we'll go through the end of the day. Let's see how the lineup does. All right, so we have a trade proposal from Columbus, the artist formerly known as the Colorado Rockies. Max Muncy for John Gonzalez, who is an 18-year-old. I don't need Max Muncy. I would really like a right-handed bat. If you look at where I'm going if you look at my current lineups, by the way, Wax Williams in his first game went 2 for 3 with a double. I need a right-handed bat. I don't need a left-handed bat. So there's no reason for me to accept that trade. I need a right-handed bat because as I look at my lineup against lefties, I'm going with Isaac Collins as a starter. And I don't like that right now. All right, so no news on the trade. Let's see. Okay, nothing new here as we 63 over Tampa, 60, 55, and 40. We got a 6-run seventh. Heshaw doubled, Saltaban grounded out, and Walker Jenkins for the game open with a double. That was his only hit, so he made it count. Max Williams went 1 for 4 with a run scored. So he's at least performing. We're 55 and 42 games up. Go ahead and sim through, and let's take a look at some of our. We got some mail to read. Gus Espinoza, not really. That's one I want to take a look at. Oh, Jeremy Rivas and Will McCausland, who's one of our monitored prospects. He probably needed a few days off. Carlos Sanchez signed. Let's look at the American League fan voting. Did we have anybody make the cut? Walker Jenkins is an all-star this year. So our all-stars are Connor Prelip, Matt Brash, 5-0, 148 ERA, and Walker Jenkins. So we only had the 3 all-stars. Walker Jenkins, 255, 344 with 12 home runs. He'll be the starting right fielder. And for the future game, let's see if we've got anybody. Orlando Torres and Francisco Renteria. '56 and 40, 6-3 win over Tampa. Solid outing for Diaz. Keyshaw had a couple. Saltavan went 2 for 3. Brooksley went 2 for 5. Williams went 2 for 4. So bringing up Williams has helped us. Tyson Lewis went 0 for 4. Salvador Perez went 2 for 4. Salvador Perez is on his last leg, like, fortunately. All right, I'm waiting to hear back from a few of my Julio Zepeda was the standout performer in the futures game. Number 7 overall prospect. A-ball for Boston, hitting 266 with 16 home runs. Very good player. We went 7-1, so we're on a bit of a winning streak here. A lot of people got hits. Max Williams did not get a hit, unfortunately. Walker Jenkins went 3 for 5. His average is now back up into 260s. The defending batting champions finally getting a run on. Wallner in July. I think I looked at this last. Yeah, he's hitting 261 in July. He just had a really bad month of June. He hit 128. So I might hold off on trading Wallner, but we'll see. As we kind of careened into the All-Star break. And I think that's where I'm going to end the stream here. So we won't see if any of our prospects actually sign. Let's look at them. They're still pending, so we haven't heard back from our offers. We'll go ahead and, yeah. Let's go through the All-Star break, actually. We'll go through the All-Star break. We had a couple for, yeah, so we'll just sim through the day. Bryce Eldridge. Won the home run derby. And Nick Kurtz was also in it. We signed Dave Landon. He'll be a catcher for us. There's one pitcher I want to take a look at when he signs. That's the 5th round pick. He's probably going to start. He's not going to start in rookie ball. All right, so we'll finish today. Hunter Goodman. This was the All-Star game. Hunter Goodman of Columbus. Hit a home run. Hitting 297, 331 for Columbus. They didn't have to change their thing for it this year. And we are about to run some ads, so I think I'll go ahead and sim through the All-Star break. And okay, so we'll come back from ads here in a couple minutes, and I'm going to end stream. But we're going to end stream. Knowing that we've got to up our offer for Grady Emerson. So that's going to be the big move we make. Not the big move, but I'm fine with signing him for $8 million. I just wanted to nickel and dime him a little bit, see if he would take 6.7. But I think I have the money for it. Yeah. I have 22 million left, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably just go ahead and submit the offer. But we'll be back. We'll be back in ads here in a couple minutes. But we'll probably look at the first half in review. We're 57-40 at the All Star break. So for us to go, I mean, if we go, let's see, that's 90, 97 games. So we have 60, 97. We have 65 games left, I think. Yeah, we have 90. We have 65 games left. So all we've got to do is win. All we got to do is split. All we got to do is play 500 ball in the second half, and we're probably gonna make the playoffs. Shut up! I got to turn a setting off on my. Did I tell you to speak? But yeah, we're just gonna sit here through ads. We're gonna look at this together, and then I'm probably gonna end stream in the next minute. So it's gonna be a weirdly timed stream. Um, Grady Emerson was born 2/21/2008, graduated college, and is a first round pick in 2029. I was a senior in college in 2008. Good job. How much longer is on this damn app? Um, oh, ad breaks over. Cool. All right, ad break over. If I don't know if y'all caught it right before the ad started, um, but Emerson refused our offer at 6.7 million. So we're just going to offer him the 8, and we're just going to go with it. So now we have so we ended up offering him what he demanded. 8 was not that big of a deal. So as I was looking at our stats, we have 65 games left in the season. We are up 6 games on the last wild card. Yeah. Actually, no, we're up 1 game. Sorry. Obviously, if we maintain where we're at, we're going to win the division. If we keep playing 5, unless the Tigers take off, we just kind of stay in our lane, we'll win. Looking at where we're at as far as moves to make, and I won't do it here on stream today. Pitching, we're not touching. Everybody's on pitching is doing well, except for Clay Holmes, but he's only pitching every few days. Okay, we went into the All Star break on a bit of a winning streak, actually. Yeah, we swept Tampa going into the All Star break. After losing a series to Atlanta and Toronto. We're at 4.5 games ahead of Detroit and 7 ahead of Chicago. Chicago's in contention for the last wild card. Obviously, we're 6 games ahead in the loss column on the last wild card spot. As far as how teams are doing overall, yet only the Red Sox are besting us in terms of losses, or winning percent. So, yeah. And if you look at expanded standings, we're actually right where we should be. So we have the best run differential in the American. Well, outside the Yankees, we have the best run differential. Um, 28-19 at home, 29-21 on the road. So yeah. So if we stand pat, and I'm thinking this year we'll probably end up standing pat, I might make a move for a right-handed bat off the bench, a right-handed infield bat. Um, uh, I want to see how long Royce Lewis is going to be. Yeah, Royce Lewis is going to be out for 3 more weeks. Um, he would be that right-handed bat off the bench. I think he's going to come back and end up being a platoon player. Um, so we may not make any moves. Yeah. Um, I don't want to upset the apple cart with the pitching staff right now. Everybody's pitching well. Diaz has pitched better. Um, in July, obviously had a rough June and a very bad April, but he's pitched better since he got into the rotation a little bit. But so that would be the one move I would make. We might, I mean, get one starting pitcher, but I think with our top three being what they are, we'll be fine. Um, Jose Alvarado struggled as a closer, but it's just a closer, so I'm not going to fight over that. Like he just had a bad outing. His ERA went from 3.63 to 5, and so we'll have to look at his underlying numbers, but I don't think there's any moves there. I just don't think there's any big obvious moves I can make. I'm going to keep Wallner, I think. Even though he's not hitting super well, he's getting his numbers. He's gotten a hit now in his last few games with a home run and a couple doubles, and it's his these are good enough. Obviously, this is not a player I'm going to keep after the season, but actually that'll be a tough decision to make. He's only making 12 million, but the market there isn't great. So, but this is going to be all for me today, and I'm gonna get on out of here. I gotta run some errands. Figure out what the hell going on with my PC, but thank y'all for joining. Um, hopefully next Tuesday I'll be on. We'll see. Um, but I appreciate y'all hanging out. Um, yep. I'll see y'all around. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Hey Google, lights on. Hey Google, lights off. Sorry. Hey Google, lights off.